Welcome back, everybody, to the Last Word Podcast, episode 4. Been a couple weeks since we've done one of these. Life got in the way of some things, but I mean, it is what it is. Back doing something that I love. So that is good. And so to sum up, there's also going to be another one tomorrow around 2 p.m. That's going to be just sports news. We've been planning this for a couple weeks, and I do have a guest today. This person, a couple years back, he was a captain for the Boston College Eagles. So please welcome former running back and wide receiver for the Boston College Eagles, Mr. Ben Glines.
How we doing? Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you too, dude. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like you said, we've been talking about setting this up for a couple weeks. So, no, it's just good to finally sit down and get to talk with you.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. Let's get the show rolling, shall we?
Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
All right. First question. In your opinion, who would be the top 5 best players in Boston College football history?
Oh, this is a very, very good question. I mean, I would say in no particular order, just to round out top 5, I have to go Matt Ryan, obviously. I'm gonna say from my high school in Cincinnati, Ohio, Luke Kuechly. That's a no-brainer. Let's see, a wide receiver from a couple years before me, Alex Amadon, underrated, little speedy receiver, one of my favorite BC players to watch. Man, I would say I'm gonna have to say another Cincinnati guy from way back. Shout out Tom Waddle. He played receiver way back in the BC days. Another Cincinnati guy, another BC guy, one of my favorite BC guys to go back and watch. What am I at 4 right now?
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna leave the 5th spot open for all of my teammates that I played with at BC. I played with so many great players at BC. Justin Simmons, John Johnson, AJ Dillon. I mean, the list goes on. Will Harris, all these guys, man, incredible guys to play with, incredible athletes. And yeah, man, I'm gonna leave that 5th spot open and just say, yeah, those are all my guys, and we'll leave that there.
Yeah, definitely had some good picks there. I would say Matt Ryan, obvious no-brainer.
No-brainer, man.
Not only at Boston College, but in the NFL, he was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
there's
of my
also
favorite football players, man.
Yeah, there's also a lot of names you mentioned with the last spot that are now in the NFL with the 5th spot that you mentioned. Justin Simmons, AJ Dillon, myself as a Packers fan.
Yeah, man.
Hoping to see him get more action this year.
I think he will, man. I think AJ is going to have a great year, man. They let go of Jamal Williams, I think.
Yeah,
one of the other running backs. Yeah. So I think hopefully we'll get to see AJ get some more opportunity because he looked phenomenal, man, last year when he was running it.
All right, second question for me. Which player do you think you're similar to on the field?
I would say when I was growing up, I always watched a lot of LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm nowhere near as quick as LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, that's one of the greatest running backs of all time. But as I kind of grew up and got older, I continued to watch a lot of running backs play and a lot of running back slot guys. So I'm gonna say I would say I'm a little bit bigger than these guys, but Danny Woodhead and Rex Burkhead. Actually, I think both former Patriots, if I'm not mistaken about that.
Yeah, Burkhead was on the Patriots. He's with Houston now.
Yeah. But I would say, yeah, Rex Burkhead, Danny Woodhead. Those are 2 of my favorite guys to watch on film and kind of just see how they, being slightly undersized guys and slightly, don't want to say they were counted out, but guys that were not looked at highly in the league, and to see them shine and do all the things that they did, just super cool guys to watch, and a couple guys that I kind of try to model my game after.
All right, third question. What's your favorite memory playing at Boston College?
Man, I think I think really just being around my teammates, being around the game, being able to continue to play football at the college level was crazy and a blessing for me. But all of the red bandana games with Wells Crowther and his story, especially with the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 coming up. We got to have Wells Crowther's parents come in and talk to us a couple times. He was the firefighter, former BC lacrosse player that died in the World Trade Center. And so every year we had the red bandana game around 9/11 and got to talk to his parents and kind of look back on that and kind of reflect on what a BC man and a BC student truly means. And I thought Wells empowered that and embodied that. And so, yeah, I think those red bandana games were one of my favorite parts. Those were usually a Friday night or a Saturday night. So the stadium was usually pretty jumping on those nights as well.
Yeah, those were definitely games to look forward to.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, they're definitely interested in hearing that he actually got to talk to his parents during, after the game too.
Yeah, and his parents were so cool about it, man. They're just the type of people that are so thankful that people are recognizing their son for the sacrifice that he made, and that BC goes, kind of up and beyond to place a whole football game around it, we do the red bandana gear and all that stuff. It's just super cool to kind of sit back and think about, reflect on the sacrifices that real heroes make, especially in today's world, where it's very easy to get caught up in social medias and this and that. It's cool to see and think back on the people that made those real sacrifices like that.
All right, kind of branching out from the last question. What was your favorite game being a part of Boston College? I know you're just mentioning the red bandana games.
Yeah. I would say, man, outside of the red bandana games, playing against Clemson was always great. I never got to beat them personally, so losing is never fun. As exciting and anticipated as those games are, I would say one of my personal favorite games was when we went down to Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. I can't remember if that was my redshirt junior or my redshirt senior year, but yeah, we went down into Blacksburg, packed stadium in there, man. Virginia Tech, when they come out to Enter Sandman, the whole stadium's jumping.
Oh yeah, the whole stadium's just going when Enter Sandman hits.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite entrances in college football. And as soon as I saw that, even as an opponent, it kind of jacks you up a little bit. And yeah, man, we ended up kind of taking it to them that game. That was super exciting, man. That was a cool game to be a part of.
Yeah, of course, the Virginia Enter Sandman, as you mentioned, one of the best traditions in college football. So I'm glad to have that back this year, especially last weekend. The pitch was into it.
Right? I know, man. That was kind of like watching college football last weekend. I was almost like, oh, we forgot what it was like to have all these fans in the stand and have that atmosphere around us. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, the energy that sometimes is more energy off the field than on the field at times.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Now, one of my favorite entrances in college football, easily Virginia Tech.
All right. This question would be, what would be the difference for you between playing high school football and playing college football?
Okay. At the end of the day, it's all football, right? That's what I kind of tell people that that are asking me about the game that I'm working out with, etc. It's all ball. You got to play ball at the end of the day. But the speed of the game definitely changes, man. Your timing has to be better. You can make a few more mistakes in high school and get away with them, based off of the talent level. But in college, everybody was one of the best players at their high school. So, the skill level it gets kicked up a notch. And I would say the main difference is the room for error gets very, very slim, the higher up you progress in those sports. So I would say that's the main difference, the speed of the game and room for error.
All right, next question I have was, what was the recruiting process like from high school, and what year did it start?
So recruiting for me, I mean, I played, baseball, basketball, football growing up. When I got to high school, I just played football and basketball. And I did pretty well my freshman year. I played for the freshman team, got called up to varsity my freshman year. And I really actually got to play varsity at the high school level my sophomore year. Um, and so I kind of sat down with my head coach, Steve Speck, at St. X High School. And he had kind of, we kind of had a conversation where he was like, hey, man, you're talented enough, to play at the college level. But he advised me that, maybe playing basketball wasn't in my best interest at the time, and sitting back and really focusing in on football and my training with football, that might help me get recruited. And so that was what I did, man. I really just got in the weight room a lot, and it really did. It paid off. I got with my running back coach, got in the weight room, man. We put in a ton of work. And I ended up getting my first scholarship offer was from the University of Akron in Ohio, small MAC school. And then, the MAC schools kind of followed after that. That was around my junior year. And then BC offered me towards the end of my junior year. And I went up, I visited BC at their junior day. And Chestnut Hill is just a great place, man. It's such a cool campus. My dad's from the Northeast, so it was cool to go up there with him and kind of learn a little bit about him, and kind of get that experience at BC, and picture myself being there for the next 4 or 5 years. So that was kind of my recruiting process. You're taking a lot of phone calls from coaches. You're talking to coaches from all over the country, all different schools, right? They're trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know them, because you're going to be with these guys for the next few years of your life. So you want to make sure that you're around good people, you're around a positive environment, a good setting, and all those things, which is a lot for an 18-year-old kid to think about. But yeah, man, that was kind of how the recruiting process was. It's fun. It's slightly stressful, but it's super cool, man. It's cool to have teams and coaches calling you like that. Yeah, man, the recruiting process is something that it's always got to be done, but it's always going to be a little tricky, man. Because all these schools competing with each other for a finite amount of kids. But yeah, man, it's a cool experience.
All right. Actually, what was your favorite play, either high school or college? Could it be a play that you were on the field for, watching it, vice versa? Either one.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say one of my favorite plays that I was in on was my first start at running back when we played at NC State, and we got down kind of early, and ended up battling our way back into the game in the second half. Ended up losing, but I scored a touchdown late in the second half to kind of bring us within one score. And man, like, that was super cool for me. And my first start at running back while AJ was out, the team gets back into it, the sidelines back into it. Everyone's kind of like, oh, we can kind of win this game right now. But I think just in general, playing against Lamar Jackson and watching Lamar Jackson in person, do what he does is absolutely incredible. He's the best college athlete I've ever seen play. He might be the best football player I've ever seen play in person. I mean, that guy is super, super special. He had a play down on the well, actually, we were playing them at home, and they were up on us pretty good, and we had scored a touchdown, right? And they had taken Lamar out of the game, so he was going to be done for the day. And they saw that we scored, and so they put Lamar back in the game. And the very next play, he fakes a handoff, takes it around the end for like a 55-yard touchdown, man, dicing people up. It's just super special to watch a guy like that. I mean, he's a once-in-a-generation talent. You don't see guys like that come through college football and come through the NFL all the time. So I think when we do see those guys, we got to appreciate them. And, yeah, watching Lamar in person was crazy, man. Super cool.
Yeah, I agreed with that, dude. I mean, if you see a Lamar game in person, it's different seeing him on TV because he's just electric.
Yeah, man, it's really different. And when he was coming into the NFL or into the draft, there was a lot of speculation about his arm talent and him not being able to throw the ball, this and that. And, man, I never saw any of that. Every time we played against him at Louisville, that dude was on the money throwing and running the ball every time. Super cool guy to watch. And yeah, like I said, man, just an incredible athlete.
All right. Next question I have is, what does it take to be a student athlete at BC with such a demanding schedule between football and also classes?
Yeah, man. And it is a lot. I wouldn't say it's not anything. Um, it's not impossible by any stretch of the means. But it is a lot. It's just I think the main thing that it does is it teaches you how to prioritize things. It teaches you how to schedule because you have to. We were you're waking up when you're in season. We're waking up at 6 to be in the locker room and be ready for a walkthrough at 7. And then you come off the field from the walkthrough, go up, watch a little bit of film, maybe watch the practice from yesterday, watch some game tape on the opponent coming up this week, whatever it is, walk through the practice schedule for that day's practice, and then go downstairs and get ready for practice, go out, actually practice, and then you got to eat lunch, you got to make it to time on classes, you got tutoring after classes. And so I think, yeah, man, it's just, I think some people think that being a college athlete, you just everything's given to you. You get a lot of stuff handed to you. You just go practice and then hang out, But it's a lot, man. It really is. You got to prioritize your stuff right. You got to schedule your day out right. And it does get stressful at times, but it's super rewarding, man. It is really rewarding. But some long days, like I said, getting up at 6 and then maybe not getting back to the house or the room until, 7, 8, 9 at night. That's a long day, man. It's a long day packed with ball, packed with school. So yeah, it's definitely challenging, but like I said, at the same time, a very rewarding process.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Whew. That's a really good question, man. I would say I would really love to be playing ball somewhere, whether that's any type of, smaller outside league or one of the spring leagues or something like that. I'd love to get back into ball a little bit. I'd like to get into maybe training some football players, training some athletes, and just kind of stand around the game that way. I think it's it's difficult to do something your whole life like play football and then leave the game and try to transition into other things. So I think for me, in a perfect world, I would love to still be around the game of football and be able to get paid to do that, or to just be around the players. So yeah, man, that's where I see myself in that 5-year stretch, and hopefully I could get there. Hopefully I'll get there a little sooner than that. We'll see, man. Got a lot of work to put in.
All right. Now brings us to the last word.
The last word.
The last word.
I love it.
What is your message to anyone watching? Doesn't have to be football related. Could be about life. Could be about school.
Yeah.
Like some motivation for them. What would that be?
Cool. I mean, I think when it comes to football, I mean, I just really believe in hard work, man. I don't want to sound cliche, but hard work is going to beat talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that's just the facts. I think whatever type of situation anyone finds themselves in, today, whether they're happy with it, whether they're unhappy with it, wherever you want to get to go, it's always going to start with one step in the right direction, right? You can never fast forward to exactly where you want to get. There's always going to be a decently sized process that goes along with that. And I think as long as people respect the process and they put the proper work in, they show up every day, man, and just never accept defeat, man, then I think people will look up and they'll find themselves exactly in the place that they want to be. And I think those are, like I said, kind of more cliche words that people hear a lot. But I think when we really break them down and really look at them and be like, hey, man, if I just wake up every day, go about my business, handle things that need to be handled, do the things I need to do to put myself in position to where I want to be, then I think we would all be a lot happier. I think, that's why we see people do great things all the time, right? And people wonder, how did that guy end up doing that? Well, that guy's probably been doing that for, like you said, 5 to 10 years, putting the work in, preparing for that, and so I think that's a really powerful message, something that I've been, trying to continually teach myself day in and day out in my own personal life right now. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. That'll be the final word from me.
All right, some great advice there. Pleasure having you. Thank
Absolutely,
you
man.
for doing this, and to those watching, thank you. If you'd like to keep up with Ben and what he's doing, link to his IG will be in the link below.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I do. It was a pleasure talking to you today. Pleasure getting to chat it up, talk a little football. I love it, man.
All right, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, for the sports news. And this has been the final word.
Yes, sir. Peace, man. Have a good one.